All right, guys, welcome to Men Don't Talk United. Really excited about this one. Um, it's been a while, so we thought we'd come up with something a bit more, personal. Obviously, it's always personal, but this is one I think is a really important topic for a lot of us guys. So we're talking about children's savings and investments, and I'm happy to say I've got Larry. Uh, Larry Yeboah. Did I say that right?
That's perfect. Hey,
Yeah,
that's perfect. Yeah.
good. So off to a good start. So he's obviously a financial consultant. So I want to let him introduce himself, and yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. So Larry, over to you.
Thank you so much, Tendai, for having me on your show. It's a powerful show that you've got, Men Don't Talk United. I think it's such a great thing that you're doing. So yeah, keep it up. And yeah, thank you for having me on your show. Hi everyone. My name is Larry Yeboah. I've been in banking pretty much all of my professional career, coming up to 15 years. Um, I've worked with some of the major high street lenders out there. I've worked with one of the major high street banks for a period of time where I was literally I was a customer advisor. So us, I'm sure you guys are fully aware of what customer advisors do. You go into your branch and they try to sit down and have a meeting with you, and they try and give you all sorts of products and things that sometimes you don't need.
They try and
So
talk you
yeah,
into things.
yeah, exactly.
Nah, just joking, just joking.
Yeah. So yeah, so so that's what I've been doing, and currently still within the banking field. And I'm really excited about tonight's session. Just going to be talking all things savings and investment for kids. Wow, what a topic!
Yeah, I know, right? And just to put things in perspective, I guess I didn't cover this a little bit. It's just wanted to highlight that as I kind of alluded that it's not a topic that a lot of people, I think, in our age group or general age groups, youngish people that don't talk about, and it's I found how incredibly, I'm not going to say easy, but I'm going to say accessible,
Yeah,
how accessible it is to set up
yeah,
these,
yeah,
investments or trust funds or whatever for your children.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I feel that this is a really important topic, and it's not a topic that me and my friends talk about a lot. So I thought
yeah.
it'd be great to come and get you on and just give people a few tips.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure being there. And let me tell you something. Preparing for this evening, I came across a couple of fun facts that I would just want to share with you guys this evening. Did you know, right, that so basically one of the big insurance companies here in the UK actually did a survey back in 2016, and in the survey they actually concluded that it will cost a parent, right, on average of £230,000 to raise a child from birth to the age of 21. That's
Wow,
here in the UK. So just think about that for a second, right?
that's
That
crazy.
is that's crazy amounts of money, right? And your average, again, another fact that I picked up recently, the average debt that a student owns here in the UK is about £35,000 once they finish university. And I remember when I finished uni, mine was around the £20,000 mark. Here
Yeah,
was I come out of uni thinking, yeah, I've got my degree. Yeah, mom and
you're
dad, yeah, I've got my
sorted.
degree. I'm sorted. Yeah, I'm going to work and pay off my debt and live the high life and the rest of it. And then it hits you that you've actually got this debt to deal with, and it made me wonder, what if my parents had some sort of savings funds for me,
Mm,
when I went to uni, the impact and the difference that would have made in my life, and not come out of uni with close to £20,000 in debt. So I'm sure you can resonate with that also.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, I think the thing that was lacking for me when I finished, I'll say my A levels, was just like mentoring, whether it was parents, uncles,
Mm.
or just whoever, big brothers or whatever. And I think it's also a bit of a cultural thing that
Mm.
we our parents and the ones before us weren't really thinking about you know um our future in that way. And that's not putting them down or anything, because obviously they probably had bigger problems and bigger
Yeah.
issues at that time. So we're in a situation now
Yeah.
where we've got more information and more access. So like you said, like going to uni and stuff like that, it was just, there was no real guidance. You were going to
No.
uni because you felt like that's what you were supposed
You
to do,
needed to
because
go. Yep.
that's what you
Yep.
were taught from the time you were a child. It's just like, oh, you have to get
Yeah.
an education, and you get your degree to get a good job. But
Yeah.
wow, how things have changed.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing. Our parents, obviously they had different mindsets, to us. And the good thing is, it's not too late to invest in your child's future.
Definitely.
And one other fact that I just want to share with you guys as well is, so if you were to save £10 a month, right, for the next 18 years, right, your child could end up with enough money for their first driving lesson, or even a deposit for their first rented flat or house. So it just goes to show that, look, savings and investment doesn't have to break the bank. It could be so low, could be as little as £10 a month, could be even, sometimes some of the banks actually do allow you to open up an account
Mm,
and put in a minimum of £1. You could put in £1. And the
wow.
thing is, you could just start. You could start with anything. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, a few £1,000s or anything at all. It can be, £10, £20,
Mm,
£5, whatever you've got,
yeah.
right? So you can just start with that. And then obviously, once you put those away over time, it all builds up and then it turns into something else for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, opening up a savings account really is, it's not a big deal, guys. It really isn't at all.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, it isn't at all.
It's just dealing with the mindset. It's just dealing with the mindset. Because I think someone also painted a picture to me before, and it's still in my mind. Is that if you're somebody who likes buying coffee, say for
Yeah,
example, an average coffee from, let's say, a latte
Brett,
from
like
yeah, from
four
bread
four
or coffee
pounds.
is like four
Yeah,
pounds. If you
yeah,
can average how many, if you say you're somebody who gets a coffee, let's just say every day, or maybe even 3 days in the
yeah.
week, you know,
That's £12 a week.
yeah, that's just £12. What you could do is just calculate that same cost and do that as a starting point. But
Yeah,
I don't want to I don't want to give people tips yet, because that's
yeah.
your that's your area.
That,
But
that,
it's
that
simple things like that. You could just use small things that you spend money on.
yeah,
Even if
yeah,
you used to put in £5, £10 in your car for parking meters. Use
yeah.
that same
Yeah, it
ability,
is.
you know.
It's exactly that. And when it comes to savings, you think about the amount of things that we do as parents, or I mean, between myself, my friends, things that even that I do, you buy and take away here, you're buying coffee there, you're buying your newspaper here,
Mm,
and these are monies that if you tally them up over a course of the week, it's something, and then you could just pop that into a savings account for your child. So
yeah.
in terms of actual savings, so um like as T said earlier, it's about the mindset. So you also have to understand why you want to save. Okay, and there are three key things that you have to really consider. So when it comes to savings, there's the short-term savings. So short-term savings is pretty much kind of like anything from 3 months up to, so basically anything less than 12 months. That's what we class them as short-term savings. And within short-term savings, you have things that falls into that, such as instant access accounts, instant savings accounts. So basically what that means is literally, and like it's like a current account, but for savings. And basically, with short-term instant access accounts, the interest rates, of course, are not great because of exactly what they are. You know,
Yeah,
you'll
short
be,
term.
you'll be, yeah, you'll be lucky to get 0.1% of an interest.
Yeah, and just for people that don't understand the percentages as well,
Yeah.
actually. So maybe you could just cover that a little bit. Like what's what's the difference?
Yeah. So with easy access, instant access accounts, you tend to get a fixed rate of interest, and sometimes it's also variable. So what that means is, if it's fixed, then let's say you have an account, you've got £100 in your account, and you're getting paid 1% in interest. So that 1% in interest for the year, you're getting 1%, which is fixed for that whole year, right? So 1% of £100 is what, £1. So in the course of a year, if you had £100 in your bank account, at the end of the year, you're going to get £1 divided by 12, which is peanuts. It's nothing.
Yeah,
It's literally like not anything at all. If it's variable, what that tends to happen is the banks will tend to change the interest rate as and when they feel like. So if it could be 2% today. Tomorrow it could be 1%. It could be 0.5%. So it really depends on how the banks feel. So that's what you get with easy access, instant access savings account.
yeah,
There are two other accounts or two other options. So you've got your medium term. So medium term tends to cover anything kind of like between anything from 1 year to 5 years. And the source of account, the type of accounts that generally tend to fall within that medium term is bonds, or fixed rate bonds, they call them.
okay.
So fixed rate bonds. So the way it works is basically you have to tie your money up. So if you haven't got any plan for, you've got a couple of £1,000, for example, you've got no plans for it for the next 12 months. Stick in a fixed rate bond. The interest rates are slightly higher than an instant access, easy access one, because your money is actually locked away, so you can't actually withdraw it. If you were to take it out, then there'll be a penalty for taking it out. The bank would normally take a portion of it, so you end up getting slightly lower than what you invested initially.
So the interest rate for this one is slightly higher, so which means you can generally get more back, isn't it? So if we're talking about anything from 0.50% to 2%,
Yeah,
we're looking at that 12 months to 5 years. So
yeah.
say for example, maybe.
So as an example, if you invest, let's say £2,000 for let's say for 1 year, right, I'd say 3%, right? That's at the end of the year, you're going to get £60. Okay. And if you left that in an easy access instant access account, there's absolutely no way you're going to get £60 at the end of the year. It just doesn't. It won't happen. No, no, not in today's market.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the difference between an easy access, short term, and then the medium term. And then the last one is a long term. So long term is basically anything 10 years plus.
Yeah.
And the way the long term investments work is generally any amount of money that you've got that you save or you invest is generally invested against the stocks and shares market. So with stocks and shares market, of course, your investment, it could fall as well as it could rise, because your money is invested against the performance of company shares and stocks.
Yeah.
So like I said, so it's generally like a long term, so 10 years or more, especially if you've got like younger children, then you could look at something along those lines. In terms of the returns, you can get some crazy amounts. You get as much, in some instances, it could be as much as 6-7% returns per annum per year, as compared to 0.01 on an instant access, or
that's right,
or 2% on the bond. So investments they tend to be a lot more riskier, because obviously your money is being invested in stocks and you've literally got no control over that. So
Yeah.
the returns can be quite higher, and also the risk is quite great as well with investment.
So a couple of questions on that, and I know you're going to get into junior ISAs in a minute, which is something not investment wise, but I know a lot of people will probably be thinking, "Oh, can I invest in?" And I think this is where this is where you and me were talking about, where we make the disclaimer. I know a lot of people asking, and I know a lot of people will be thinking, it's like, "Oh, Bitcoin." And like say for myself, I've got an account with a certain third party, which I won't mention. And I've done, I've looked into, I've invested in a, stocks and shares ISA, for my daughter. So, like I said, this is a long-term thing, and money can go down. So, I know people will be thinking about all those kinds of things, and I think you've covered it. That returns may be much higher, but there's risk involved. So, I know there'll be some people thinking, "Oh, can I do that kind of thing?" So, I just wanted to be clear that when we're talking about shares and stocks and these that kind of things, and it also includes things like cryptocurrency, although it's slightly different. I think things like
I mean, I think cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is slightly I don't think the UK government actually allows children or allows parents to invest in that sort of tools for children at this stage. I mean, I think as time goes on, I mean, that may well change. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But just going back to obviously the savings and the investment. So, I mean, personally, I've actually got a stocks and shares ISA myself, and I've got it with an organization which I'm not going to mention the name. And I started this back in 2017. I started it. Okay. And my plan is to cash it in 10 years time. So in 2027, that's my plan to cash it in. So it's a long-term investment. And of course, when I log in online and I'm looking at my report and I'm looking at the returns that's coming in, it's quite good. And just for clarity, I'm obviously not recommending any products or anything at all. Just for that matter, but just going back to our kids. So, in terms of investing, so there's something called a cash ISA, right? And cash ISAs or ISAs, that's the name of the actual product. So it's called an ISA. You can have a cash element, and then you can have the stocks and shares element. So an ISA is actually one of the best things out there, because what it offers you is tax-free interest. So we talked about the interest rates earlier. In some instances, depending on how much income the child is receiving, in some instances, the interest rates that they earn on those accounts, those are taxable. So they pay tax on those interest rates. Okay. So with ISAs, however, it's tax-free. And in every tax year, a child is allowed, and when I say child, so you're looking at anyone between the age of 0 to 16. So they can have an ISA account, and the amount they can invest in the ISA account actually it varies from year to year. This year, so for this financial tax year, that's the 6th of April 2021 to 5th of April 2022, the maximum you can invest in an ISA for your child is £9,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So as parents,
it's a no-brainer, kind of, really, isn't
it? Seriously, yeah, and it's interest that you're getting tax-free, right? So you're not getting anything. You don't have to pay tax on the interest that the banks or whoever you're going to invest with is going to pay you. And so we touched upon it earlier, which is so with the ISA, there's two different you can do two different ways of investing. So you can have a cash element, and then you can have the stocks and shares element. Now, the cash element is basically a cash ISA, and it works the same way as your easy access, instant access accounts that we talked about earlier. Your stocks and shares ISA, it works differently. So it's an investment ISA, and basically you can invest from as little as £25 a month. Right, that's your cost of coffee. I mean,
your yearly coffee supply,
yeah,
or is it yearly?
your monthly,
Your monthly.
yeah, or even less than your monthly coffee
Some of us
supply.
don't drink that much coffee, so we think £25 a year.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a cost of coffee. From as little as £25 a month, and of course, in terms of your returns, it can be anything up to 5% or more. It could be as much as 6, 7, 8%. And these are on a long-term basis. So this is not something that you're looking at, putting the money in and then taking the money out tomorrow, or taking the money out next week, or a few months down the line.
Sorry, just to come in, Larry, and I think that's an important thing to highlight, is that discipline is quite important with these things, because what we're essentially talking about is we're talking about our children's future, or our future. So
Yeah.
we really want to make this thing work and actually really, you get some good returns. We have to look at it as if you're either doing it for short term, and you're either doing it for long term, and you have to stick by those guns, because otherwise it's not worth it.
And one thing that with these ISAs, so with the cash ISA and the stocks and shares, mainly the stocks and shares ISA, any money that you invest in, right, or any money that you put into that investment, you can't actually withdraw it until the child turns 16 or 18.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a long-term investment. But if you look at the longevity of it, so if you look at, it's for I know, you've just, for your young child for the next 15 to 16 years or whatever. If you think about it that way, you're not going to do anything. But if you think about, the sacrifices you're going to make in not having that coffee, right, this week, in not buying, not buying that Nando's this week, right? I mean, and I love my Nando's. I'm not gonna lie.
Peri chips.
Peri chips. My mayonnaise and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so if you think about it that way, not having that that luxury this week, or that luxury for the next month, and just actually putting that away for your son or your daughter, or for your child for the next few years, in 16, 17, 18 years time, that's going to be a whole amount of money that your son or daughter can actually use towards their education, towards their university fees. I mean, I think the cost of uni fees this year is what, 9,000, almost £10,000.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
God knows what that's going to be in a few years time.
Yeah.
Right. So these are all investments that you can make, right, and that will go towards towards your children's future. We talk about education being one of it. Wedding. I mean, I know getting married in this country, it's not easy. I had a bit of an easier way out, because I got married in Ghana, which is
more
it's a bit
cheaper.
Yes, exactly, compared to having it here. So when you save for that long term, the benefits of doing that, you're not just doing that for doing its sake, but you're actually investing in your child's future. At that point, the money can go towards university fees, wedding, or even act as a first deposit. That's a deposit for them to get their first house. And I think it's so important. I mean, personally, I didn't get, Tenda and I are just talking about this now, but I did not have that when I was growing up. My mom and dad never sat me down to say, look, Larry, this is what you should be doing, X, Y, Z. I didn't have that conversation. And I think with what we have at our disposal now, i.e. with the internet, we've got our smartphones, we've got our tablets, we've got our laptops, there's information out there for everyone. It's so easy to to access this information. Absolutely. And investing in your child's future, I think is so important. And also it's so important to teach your child about money, right? It's just so important to do that. Just allows them to understand obviously how money, the importance of it and what money does for you and how money grows, that sort of thing. So I think that's really important.
Yeah. So what do you think in terms of, so anybody wanting to start, like, can we name any websites? I mean, I can think of one that I think it's, fairly.
Go on. What
Yeah.
one?
I was gonna think like you can go on things like Uswitch or like moneysupermarket.com, and you can literally just go on there and search for like ISAs, junior ISAs, and just see what the rates are. So obviously with the high, if it's got a higher percentage, then that's a great start.
Yeah, that's a great start, T. And I think, like I was saying earlier, with what we have at our disposal now, so, I think everyone's got smartphones, right? You can access the internet. I mean, when I was growing up, it was dial-up internet.
Yeah.
You literally you couldn't access the phone if you are away from your house. So you couldn't access the internet if you are away from your house.
And even not too long ago, I can't remember, maybe was it early 2000, mid 2000, some phones you could hardly still get internet. But now you've got 4G, you've got 5G. Most of these places where you can open ISA accounts, all these banks, they've got apps.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's so easy to set up.
So it's so easy. It's so easy to set up these accounts. You can use your own banks. Your banks have got financial advisors. They've got customer advisors in branches. You can use those. There are comparison websites. You can use Money Supermarket. You can use Money Saving Expert. There's a guy called Martin Lewis. Martin Lewis's website, Money Saving Expert. If you do use it, there's so much information on there. It gives you.
You can sign up. He's got an email as well. You can sign up to the emails. They send you weekly emails and stuff.
Exactly. So in terms of information, there's so much out there. You can use your banks. You can use online. You can use even contact your bank over the phone. And and in terms of setting them up as well, it's so easy. You don't. You can literally walk into a bank today and have one open up for your children.
So easy, isn't it?
It's seriously, it's so easy. You don't and again, I'll just use obviously growing up, when I was much younger. I remember if I went into the bank to open an account, I had to jump through hoops, to open the
amount of paperwork used to go. Well, yes, you had to use like 3. Is that right? You had to bring like 3 different forms of ID. So your passport, your like utility, electricity or gas bill.
Yep.
And I can't remember what the third thing was. It was just like really easy. But now you can just do it on your phone, like you said.
Exactly. Everyone's got a mobile phone banking app. You can open an account on your mobile phone banking app. So it's so easy to do that. I just wanted to talk about a couple more things, see if I may. So we talked about the cash ISA. We talked about the stocks and shares ISA as well. One account that I had when I was growing up was National Savings and Investment account. It was an instant access account, and those are still available today, even. And that is a great way to get your child saving. So I remember those days, anytime I did any kind of like house chores or anything at all, my mom and dad would obviously give me money for that, and then I'll deposit some of it into that account. And the money was tucked away until I turned 18. So when I turned 18, I was able to access that money. And obviously, being an 18-year-old, off to uni, had a little bit. It wasn't great, but it was something. Yeah. Yeah, it was something. So yeah, it's National Savings Investment. If you go online onto Google, you search, type in NSNI. You'll get a lot more information regarding that. And then one other account also that is called a child trust fund, and I had to read up about this really because I remember when I was much younger, these accounts were readily available. It was kind of like there, you couldn't really miss it. But now I think the government doesn't actually offer it anymore. It's called a child trust fund. And basically, what it does was the UK government set up these accounts to provide a pot of money for the child. So any children that were born between 1st September 2002 and 2nd of January 2011, right? And and if their parents received child benefit, they would have had this child trust fund account also.
Okay.
And so at the time, the government would have given you, I think it was between £250 to £500.
Wow.
Just for opening that account for you.
Okay.
So that's another that's something that parents can look into.
So this one's still available. Okay.
Yeah. So the government doesn't actually offer that anymore. But
okay.
Yeah, but if your child was born between those two dates that I mentioned, then that's something that they can look into. If they went online and they type into Google Child Trust Fund, there'll be information on how to go about looking into seeing if anyone is entitled to any monies from the government. So there's that also.
So that's children born between 2002 and 2011. Did you say?
So yeah, children born between 1st September 2002.
Yeah.
And 2nd January 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you heard that, people. Go check it out if you've got kids born in that age.
Yeah. So that's another avenue or another accounts available for our children. So yeah, that was that.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I'm just going to ask you, like, if there's one or two main takeaways that you want people to take. I think for me, talking with you now, it's kind of what I knew generally, but I just wanted someone like yourself to come on here and share. Is that look, it's it's very easy to set up an account for children, and not just children, like even us as individual. It's something that we have to think about, whether it's like getting ready for your your pensions and stuff like that. But that's a different topic. Maybe we can cover that.
It's a different,
it's a totally different beast. Because I've got a couple of pensions that I've had on the go for a while. But I think for this, I think the main thing is that, look, it's very accessible for you to open a child ISA or child ISA stocks and shares.
Stocks and shares ISA, cash ISA.
Exactly.
Or sometime called a junior ISA, or GISA, GISA.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so easy. And I think for me, my take from all of this is, look, the next time you go into your bank, just ask your bank manager about investment and savings for children. They will throw a bucket loads at you.
Yeah.
There's so much out there. There's so much information out there. You can use. There's Money Saving Expert. If you go into Money Saving Expert, there's a search in the search bar. Just type in savings for children. There's so much information out there. It will actually tell you the best interest rates out there for short-term, medium-term, and long-term investing for children. It will tell you that. There are comparison websites. Guys, we are in a digital age, right? Things are at our fingertips. There's things available. There's so much available for us. It's unbelievable.
And I think also now is kind of one of the best times to think about it, because obviously we're still in a pandemic, and a lot of us are still working from home, and I think a lot of us are saving money on going out. Whether it was dining or taking public transport. This was opportune time to start thinking about ourselves, our kids and stuff like that. And with the way information is so easily accessible, it's just I just feel like it was just something so strong that I needed to do this segment just to get people to at least start thinking about that, because when we're looking at it, it's giving our kids the chance of, when they turn 16 or 18, is like, look, we've got this for you, so we could actually give you that step up that we never had. So if you wanted to buy a car that helps you get to university or work, or even if it's just getting you a property of your own, it's just that thing that some of us have never really had. And I think for me, this is the opportune time, and I feel like this is why it's so important, because our parents never had that opportunity. A lot of us.
I agree. I agree, and like we were saying earlier, you don't need thousands and thousands of pounds, to invest, right? It could be as little as £1. And when we talk about investment, it doesn't necessarily have to be stocks and shares investment. But obviously, if you want better returns on the money, then that's an area that you'd have to look into. It
Yeah.
could be as little as £1. You could put a pound a week, right?
Mm.
£1 a month, right? End of the year, that's £12. That's something. So you
Mm.
can start somewhere. So it's about the mindset, and it's about the dedication, right?
Mm.
And actually making sure that you're doing something for your child.
Yeah.
When it comes to investing in stocks and shares, that's as little as £25 a month. And if you put £25 a month, right? I actually got a chart from one of the websites. So this is assuming if you were to invest in what was it? Bear with me a second.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And while you're looking for that, I'll just tell everybody else as well that you mentioned about the £25 a month, whether that's stocks and shares ISA or just a normal ISA. I think you've also kind of said it can be a small amount, and you don't have sometimes because you can get bogged down in your mind about,
Yeah,
oh, I don't have enough money that this month or next month, or I want to have at least £1,000 in the account
yeah,
at the end of the year.
yeah.
That's fine, but try and break it down into
Just
small
start. Yeah,
chunks
start
and say what
start
you can
some.
do. If you can start off with just £2 a week or even £2 a month, it's a starting point. Because
It's a
what you
starting
what you've
point.
realized is it's like, oh, I put £2 a month £2 last month, but I could have put way more. It's just
Yeah,
that practice that then gets you going. You realize, oh, but I can put 20. Why did I put £2? And then you find
exactly,
yourself start to do that, and then every other month you think, oh, I've got a bit of extra. I think we're talking about habits, and I think that's the
exactly.
thing that
Yeah,
we need to form when we're thinking about these
yeah,
things.
yeah. That's the thing. Think about it this way. You you plan to have a certain thing done. So you've got a particular hobby that you like doing, right? Let's say you like going to the gym, for example. I mean, I'm not really a gym person, but let's say you like going to the gym. You know that you have to pay to go to the gym. So if you get into the habit of put certain money aside to go to the gym, or
Mm,
if you set if you get into the habit of setting money aside, to save that for your child, for your child's future. So is that sort of same concept? It's about just getting the mindset right. Getting your head around it, and just putting a little bit of money aside. It doesn't have to be anything to break the bank. Just a little bit of money aside on a monthly basis. You'll be surprised what you get at the end of the year. You get
mm,
that, and you feel like, wow, actually I actually managed to achieve this. I actually managed to save X amount of money. So
100%.
what I wanted to share with you was, so I picked this information up from one of the from the websites, which I'm not going to mention the name of. And so basically, assuming a 5% interest, right, after charges, and this is into an investment ISA, right? And if you saved £50 a month, right, for the next 5 years, okay. So if you save, let's say, assuming there's no interest, and you were to put £50 a month away for the next 5 years, so that's £3,000.
Okay.
But if we were to invest this in an investment stocks and shares ISA, assuming a rate of 5% a year, that's £3,404, right, in 5 years' time. So you're gaining £404 in 5 years' time. Now, if you left that money in your bank account, in your current account, in an easy access instant account for your child for 5 years, I can guarantee you that alone, I can guarantee you, you're not going to get you're
You'd
not
be
going to get
surprised.
no, seriously, you will not get £400 in 5 years' time. You will not get that,
Mm,
right? So that's the difference between that and an investment.
yeah.
Obviously, because with investment, the risk are much higher with investment. So that's the difference.
So what was that? Remind me, was that in an ISA? Yeah.
So that was in a stocks and shares
In the
ISA.
stocks and shares ISA. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
invested for 5 years.
yeah. And that's obviously, like you said, disclaimer. It is, you're buying
It,
shares essentially, so it can
yeah,
go up and
it
down.
can
But
go up
that's
and
what you
down.
do. Yeah. So
Exactly
obviously,
that.
people, if you're going to go into, like, stocks and shares type ISA, do your research and, make an informed decision, because as Larry
Exactly.
says, we're not, we're not experts, and we don't, we don't advise in you know, taking particular products, but it's just to let you know that there is that for, um, that the
There's
fact
that
that you go up
option.
and down. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
So,
that option. There's that option for individuals. And like we were saying earlier, there's just so much information, and you can get access to this information from literally everywhere. You can go to your bank. The next time you go to your bank or to do anything in your bank, just ask the person that serves you. Ask them, do you have any children's savings accounts? Do you have any investments for children? They'll be more than happy to help you.
absolutely.
You know, and also, we talked about the mindset. When you I mean, and this is something that I've my family's actually done it. My nephew and my brother, his dad, when so he went into actually open up his my brother went into open up a current account, and whilst doing that, he actually set up a young savers account for his son, my nephew, and he's been saving money into it. And literally, the way it works is that that young savers account is linked to my brother's current account. So he obviously he manages it, controls everything that goes in and out of it. And a lot of the banks and the building societies out there do offer that. There's that they offer you that option to have the children's account linked to your own account, so
Yeah.
you can easily transfer money from your account into their account. And those are easy instant access accounts, sort of thing. So it doesn't apply for things like investment ISAs and the rest of it.
Yeah.
But these are all generally like easy access. Just for clarity on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess that's it for this segment. So a lot of things for everybody to digest now. So yeah. So yeah. No, thanks a lot. I think we've covered quite a few things. I mean, even I've been taking a few notes of some things that I'm going to look into. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No,
Let
thanks
me
a lot.
let me just say one thing.
Sure.
And we talked about how easy and accessible savings and investments are for our children. And we've also talked about how you don't need a huge sums of money to do that. It could be as little as £1 to as much as £25 or whatever. One thing I would just like to add is, our children are our future, right? And so why don't we invest in that future today? Right. So our children are our future. So let's invest in that future today. We can start with something today. We can start doing something today. In 12 months' time, in 24 months' time, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, it's all going to add up, and it's going to be something meaningful to your child when he's 16 or 18, and he's beginning that adult life, or going to uni or whatever it is that your child could be doing. You've given them that buffer, just to set them up, for the life ahead of them. So yeah, let's do that. Yeah,
let's do that. Yeah. So Larry Yeboah, financial consultant, thanks very much. So guys, thanks for watching. Leave your comments below, and hopefully we can get myself and Larry to answer any questions you might have. And yeah, you never know, there'll be a part 2. So thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, Larry.